feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And Berry plant will show you how. Turn the key and flick the light. Bendigo, you know it's right. Feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home.
Because he's a pretty fiery character.
Yes.
And that's played itself out, essentially. What are your thoughts on that decision, Norm?
Look, it's a great decision as far as I'm concerned by the football club. It shows that they've got a new culture there. They need to set an example, and that definitely did not set the right example for the younger players that they've got around the club, and all credit to them for what they've been able to do. As you say, a lot of other clubs would have said, oh, well, we'll get through to the end of the year and we'll have a look at it then. But to do it now, I say it's all credit to Kangaroo Flat, and an excellent decision. And you know, you can't be doing that if you're the coach. You've got a young side. You're the one that's meant to be setting the example. Even if you're not on the ground, if you're a non-player, you're meant to be setting the example for those players to look up to, and that certainly doesn't send the right message to any player that you can go out and abuse an umpire and push an umpire around. I mean, that just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in any level of football, in any level of sport in this day and age.
And Tommy Nicholson, who's the umpire in question, he's a pretty straight shooter.
He is.
And Tommy wasn't going to put up with that by any stretch of the imagination.
No, I've known Tommy for a long time. Played footy against Tommy, and I've got to know Tommy. He's a great mate, and he does not put up with that sort of thing, and he used to set the right example.
Nor should anyone have to.
Oh, no, that's right.
Nor should anyone have to. So, yeah, it's an unfortunate situation that it did occur, but well done to the Kangaroo Flat Footy Club for Football Netball Club for acting swiftly and acting decisively. It'll be interesting to see how they go today. I think most of those other games are pretty well set in stone. Gisborne will beat Castlemaine, Eaglehawk will beat Maryborough, South Bendigo. South Bendigo and Kangaroo Flats in it.
It'll be interesting, depending on how Kangaroo Flat react. You know what happens in other leagues, in higher standards, in lower standards. It can lift a club when something like that happens, and it'll be interesting to see how, number one, South go about it, and number two, how have Kangaroo Flat reacted.
No Jonathan Patton there for Kangaroo Flats. That's obviously going really well. And Sandhurst take on Kyneton as well at the Queen Elizabeth Oval.
Well, it'll depend on which Kyneton side turns up. I mean, Kyneton have proved over the years that they can be competitive against top sides, and in particular against Sandhurst.
Yes, so this is the thing. The one team that they keep upsetting when they do cause an upset is Sandhurst.
Wow.
I don't think it's going to be today, mind you.
No, they've done it at the QEO. They've done it in wet conditions at the QEO a couple of years ago, and they've done it. They do it down at Kyneton regularly. You know, as I've listened to a couple of broadcasts over the years when Himmelberg kicked that magnificent goal.
Tip today, Norm? Golden Square, Strathfieldsaye?
Strathfieldsaye.
Golden Square with me, and I reckon pretty comfortably.
Yeah, I think they'll have a strong showing, Joel. I think you're right.
This is 2v3 in Bendigo football. A couple of the modern-day greats of the competition, Lockie Sharp and Jack Geary, tossing the coin, and, of course, the two key forwards as well. One goal separates them in the Ron Best. Plenty on the plate for this afternoon. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live. To get us underway, here's John Hunter.
Scotty backs to the umpire, throws the ball in the air. The ruck contest was won by Hosking. We'll push it forward. In fact, it's going to be Toma now. Picked up the ball for Golden Square, then lost it. It's slippery and it's fumbly already. Hurry kick out of the pack by Hickman of Golden Square. They'll be the first side to go forward. In fact, it's a good tackle by the Storm, and it's a short little kick and a little give by Blanford on the outer side.
Ball just rumbles around. Gill now comes in. He tries to pick it up. He's walked across the boundary line on that Peter Moroney wing. It'll be tossed back into play. Here, Freckleton starting deep forward for Golden Square.
Wow, look at that ball go, Joel.
That's showing what the wing can do this afternoon. That went probably 10 or 15 metres to the city end from where the umpire threw it back into play. It's just slammed forward for the Dogs inside forward 50. Monty collect a bouncing ball. Just got pushed out as he tried to turn the corner into the right forward pocket. And the ball will be thrown back in. 50 metres out, Dogs in attack. They kick to the city end, the Laurel Street end in this opening term.
And it was Jack Geary that won the toss that decided to kick to that end. Probably a good choice, I'd imagine. Umpire throws it in. Holds its line on this occasion. Hurried kick out of the pack. Might have been Thrum who banged it. It'll go deep into the hot spot. It'll come off hands and it will be a throw-in hard up against the point post.
Norm, interesting to see Harry Burke's got the job on Lockie Sharp.
Just going to say, young Harry Burke's got first go at Lockie Sharp today, and Harry's been playing good football in recent weeks. It'd be interesting to see if Sharpie does get on top, who goes there next.
The Dogs are in attack. In the forward pocket, it's thrown in. Storm under pressure. They'll collect the footy. A hurried kick. It'll just go to defensive 50. Running through there for the Dogs will be Shelton. He did well. A little short kind of disposal. It was nothing. Now it'll be the Storm and they'll rebuild off half back.
Nice handball infield. Releases the run of McCarty back into the team. For Strathfieldsaye, kicks up toward half forward. Harry Burke was there in front of Lockie Sharp. Oh, now Vaz is dragged down. Lost the ball in the tackle and caught holding the ball. Free kick will go to Carson James. It should go to Carson James.
But Lockie Sharp had the ball and he's retained possession.
How on earth does that work? Sharp goes inside the 50 and finds Ernst on the lead, just inside the boundary line. He might be just beyond the arc. And Caleb Ernst has got it. He pokes it inside the 50. All of about 14.5 metres to Gill, who again finds a short hit-up lead, and that's from Geordie Wilson. And Wilson's got the footy 40 metres out. As good as directly in front, but a slight angle to the left.
And interesting, that little build-up, Joel, with the wind, kicking into the wind. Strath have gone short all the way, and kept possession.
So Wilson lets it go on the right boot. He'll go right to the line. It's slapped straight up in the air. Shishka has a play, and Ernst got rid of Thrum to push him away from the footy. First score of the game's a minor one.
Ready, go far. Ready, go far side. Hawks, you want to go deep? Joel, other side. Let's go other side. Come on, Dougie! 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 Come on, Dougie!
Jed's going in. Jed's going in. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, so then you know they'll have to do a rotation. Yeah.
Come on, Dougie! Now! Now! Go forward! Forward! Where? Come on, Dougie!
Go, Trell. Here we go.
Come on, Dougie! Come on, Dougie! Come on, Dougie! Come on! Come on, Dougie! 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 Come on, Dougie!
from home, but a tightish angle, about 10 metres in from the boundary.
Yes, another good passage of play there. Started from young Zabe Murley. The ball one-handed, swung around onto his right foot, got a 2 metre break and a lovely pass.
2 goals so far this season for Brodie James. He's played every senior game. He starts his kick to the right and it was always going to stay there. Minor score, Square by 3 points, 14 gone in the opening term.
Blanford will kick it in from full-back. I think, Norm, both sides are falling in the trap of allowing for the wind. I think you just don't go with that. You just kick through the football and just rely on the ball doing its work. As Stevens took it and then he by foot give it to Shishka over the top, and the Storm are away to the outer side wing. Tracking the football was Carson James. He was good enough to take a fingertip up. He's on the Maroney wing. He'll come inboard, short pass. Effective, Gill receives. Gill still on the wing, looking inboard, then decides to go back towards the boundary line. So they're sharing it around here, the Storm. They've been inaccurate. They've got 5 behinds on the board. They trail by 3. Tough conditions here. Long ball now, the Storm. It'll go, it'll sit inside 50. Sharp's got a run at it, but he got caught behind the pack. 49 metres out. Storm, little bit of a handball over the top with Slater, loses it, and Jack Geary gets involved.
Geary's handball forward, almost cut off by Stevens for Strathfieldsaye. Now Hoare, handball to Riley, cuts an arc around the pack, kicks an absolute grubber to the edge of the 50. Ernst came through, split the pack, couldn't pick it up. Geary's pushed off the football for Golden Square. And we're going to have a ball up right on the paint of the 50. Forward, Storm into attack, get to trouble the scoreboard in a major sense. Golden Square by 3 points halfway through this opening term. Brereton did the ruck work and tried to take it at their feet. Murley, handball to Geary, taken away by Stevens. Shishka kicks inside the forward 50. Dogs' defence will be good enough, but maybe only for a little while. Shelton's kick tumbles outside the defensive 50. Webb got run down. Handball went back looking for Hallinan. Putting his head over it was Toma. Morecambe toe pokes it forward. In the mix in the centre of the ground. Now James, he goes to ground. Did he camp on that ball? Wilson tackled him, caught holding the ball. Free kick will go to the Storm from true centre half forward where Riley Wilson's got it.
Down at the camp reserve, Castlemaine lead, 1 behind to Gisborne yet to score. So they'll take anything they can at the moment. The Castlemaine boys, as Riley Wilson, he'll go inside forward 50. Didn't go down the middle, which probably should have. James receives for the Dogs, and it's a long ball beyond the pack. It might be out of bounds on the full again, and it is. You called it last game, Norm, didn't you?
Yeah, well, take and count. That's 3 already today.
Blanthorne, it receives. Blanford, he'll go backwards in order to come forward. Now they're off half back, the Storm. Short pass inboard. Hallinan's got the footy, defensive side of the middle, kicking to the Maple Street end.
There's 7 blokes on the bench down here, Johnny.
How does that work, Joel? I'm not real good at maths unless you put a dollar sign in front of it.
3 Storm players waiting to come back on, 4 Square players waiting to come back on, and the ball's spent all the time on the outer side.
Mays, by hand, gives it to a teammate in Webb. Webb short pass, and it was effective, and it's Alexander that takes a chest mark low beneath his knees.
Still can't get on the ground. Maybe now an interchange as Alexander does come off. Kick to Gill. Gill plays on, goes inside the 50. Ernst with the arms outstretched, can't grab it. 30 metres out from the Storm goal. Waiting out the back was Threlfall, and Ernst tries to bustle his way back toward the ball. And he pushes his opponent over the boundary line. It'll be tossed back in, right forward pocket for Strathfieldsaye.
Home of country footy, QEO. Sandhurst lead by 20 points against the Tigers. So a good, strong start by one of the premiership favourites. As a kick off the ground by Toma. Smack bang into the middle. Joel Brett, he soccers it. There's no one forward of the play. The ball is tumbling forward. Another soccer kick by Brett. Inside forward 50 now. He collect. Oh, his composure was good. There's no one at the top of the square. Running with a fly to the footy was through 2 players. It was a goal, was it? Oh, I thought it went left. Boy, oh boy, that is almost goal. Well, I won't say goal of the year, but certainly one of the better goals we've seen. So, awesome effort by Joel Brett. Puts one on the board for Golden Square. 2-2-14 to the Storm, 5 behinds, and we've gone almost 20 minutes opening term.
Yeah, good passage of play there, especially once Joel Brett got the football. It was kicked to him in the centre of Golden Square. It landed in the centre wicket. which is nice and muddy at present. He kicked the ball off the ground once, twice, 3 times. Then he was able to gather. When he gathered, he turned back between 2 Strath players, made his composure and kicked a goal and made no mistake.
That's such a good finish to be able to just float it home on the breeze from right on the 50. Ernst now into the ruck for Strathfieldsaye. Compston decisively down. Murley gets a kick inside the forward 50. Freckleton tried to take with one hand. Standing in the road was Leicester. Under pressure here, the Storm defence. Leicester's handball. Flipped it up to Ratcliffe. Now on to Riley Wilson. And now to Stevens, who goes crashing into the bench. And they just surge it forward. Baxter Slater tumbles a kick forward. Lovely take from Shish. What a gather that is. Handball off to Gill. And now down low to Slater. Inside the forward 50. Burke throws a boot at it. Brereton's there as well. Dogs keep it in. Out toward Hickman. Sharp stood in the road for Strathfieldsaye inside the forward 50. They're fighting for the footy and fighting hard, but neither side can keep it alive, and it goes out at the junction of the 50 in the boundary. Right half forward, Storm into attack. Still haven't kicked one. They trail the Dogs by 9.
Now, they may not have it up yet, Joel, but I think Darryl would be happy with the way this first quarter's gone. Square have got the win. Strath have had the ball.
It will be Compston wins the tap to the front of the pack. Jack Geary collects but steps over the boundary line. And you make a good point, Norm. They've looked likely, haven't they, to the Storm?
They have looked likely, and they've been able to keep the ball in their forward line. It's very rarely been in Golden Squares, and yet Golden Square have had the use of the win.
I know it doesn't make much sense, but they've looked potent without actually hitting the scoreboard because of the conditions. Hurried kick off the ground, Golden Square Dogs, but a collect for the Storm through Webb. Whistle on play.
Played that well, did Webb. He just kept the ball in front of him without taking control and got tackled, so he got a free kick.
Centering ball down the line. Oh, did well. It was a Golden Square through Stewart, got his hand on the footy. Now they're all tied up. Monty tries to make a path and can't. And right on the 50-metre line, Storm in attack will have a ball up. 14 playing 5, Square lead. We've gone 21 minutes open term.
So up they go. This time Toma takes it away for Golden Square and just slams it to open space out at right half forward. Bouncing ball in front of Brett. Runs onto it, taps it inside the forward 50. It'll stay in play. No, Blanford's gone down behind play. Brett couldn't keep it in. And a ball in the right forward pocket. Gee, it's a dangerous place when he gets into open space, Normie.
Yes, it was. It was almost deja vu. He got out clear, but he just couldn't keep that ball inside the boundary line. That's what happens when you play too close, too safe.
So ball to be chucked back into play. Again, it's Ernst in ruck at the moment with, unfortunately, Hosking off the ground with what looked like a shoulder complaint in the early stages. It's slapped back toward the boundary line and it'll go out of play for another ball in.
Yes, that'll be a big loss if Hoskins gone with a crook shoulder today. It'll mean that more of the ruck work will come to Ernst than what he was expecting.
I thought Joel Brett was going to do it again there before too for the Dogs there, Norm, the way he paddled that ball. Now, Monty collects the ball. Little handball, little give to Murley. Murley, a hurried kick, goal, right on the line. I reckon it's a goal.
Yeah, I think the goal umpire said all clear.
Good finish by Murley. It was an awkward little ball off the foot, but it certainly made the distance. So they increased the lead. So Murley did well on that occasion. Golden Square now. It was 3-20 for the Storm, 5 behind. And we've gone 22 minutes opening term. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
There's once again Golden Square taking their opportunities. Ball came to ground, save. Murley was able to compose himself in amongst the pack and get boot to ball. And we saw this a couple of weeks ago against Eagle Hawk. They had a good last 5 minutes of the first quarter to put a big score on the board.
Bizarre situation in the middle with neither ruck being ready. So Tom Toma just slapped it out of mid-air and tried to surge it forward for Golden Square. Dale Caldwell wasn't waiting for them. Murley tumbles it inside the forward 50 for the Dogs now. Stewart's lying on the deck. He has a play at it. Getting chucked down inside forward 50 was James for the Dogs. Really strong tackle on Stewart. And the Storm win it back inside the defensive 50. It's great work there from Lockie Gill. In fact, it's Ratcliffe inside the defensive 50. And so Ratcliffe can open it up to the outer side, but he goes short instead to Leicester. He poked it all of about 8 metres. Leicester picks it up on the bounce and kicks it about 58 and lobs it onto the chest of Riley Wilson. Should have got a free kick. He should have got a free kick for some front-on contact there. He's desperately stiff. He's back on top, but now he's got it high. There's the square up. Geordie Wilson's in there to remonstrate with Tom Tomer, who took younger brother high. Meanwhile, Riley's away, kicking inside the 50.
Yeah, and the contest was quite sharp, but geez, they got numbers. Jonathan Coe did well. Tackled though by Barrett, who was riding shotgun, and it's on here in the middle, Norm. To quote a famous commentator, I was going to say, you watch the fight and I watch the footy, but we don't see that much anymore, do we?
No, Bo Alexander got out of there pretty quick smart.
Attacking 50 now. The Storm, hurried kick out of the pack. It'll tumble towards the boundary line, swimming pool side, just underneath the palm tree, which is, well, it's pretty stagnant at the moment. We have seen a lot of wind up to date, and it'll be ball in 30 around from goal.
Bo Alexander owns a gym, Norm, so I reckon he's just a bloke that none of them wanted to take on.
Yeah, well, that could be right too, Joel.
Tossed back in, Brereton down to Sharp, throws his left boot at it, and it'll float right onto the chest of Jonathan Coe. Ever the goalkeeper back there for Golden Square. Here's the reliable centre half back. Comes outside the defensive 50, looking for Shelton. Couldn't find him with the kick. Diving in on top of it, getting caught with the ball. And a free kick going against Webb. In fact, it's not Webb, it's Joseph Mays who just got stuck with it, really. And Shelton wins it back for Golden Square, and then almost turned it over to Stevens. Vaz got there just in time to knock it over and out of play for a boundary throw in between the wing and half forward for the Storm.
Now, getting back to that last centre throw up there, Joel, Jake Thrum must have nominated himself as the ruckman because nobody's allowed to touch that ball until it hits the ground.
And Compston wasn't even there, so I'd say that, Tom had nominated himself and Compston hadn't even had the chance to.
Thrum won it on half back for the Dogs and puts it to half forward. I thought Strosh was going to be out for a minute, and then he just failed as it's Hallinan. He got involved and laterally across half-back, spots up a teammate for the Storm. They trail by 15, but it seems a lot closer than that, doesn't it?
Which, if that's the case, no, it's a great heads-up play from Tom Tomer.
Oh, it is, yes, if he nominated himself, because you've got to nominate the ruckman and nobody else can touch the ball till it's hit the ground.
Can you say quickly, it's me, just as it's in the air?
No, not as it's me, you've got to give the name.
That's a long ball. And comes to the centre wing and it'll come off hands and will be a ball in. So 15-point margin. We've got a contest on our hands. Tough conditions. Opening term. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Andrew umpire to spin it back in right in front of our broadcast position. Brereton and Compston in ruck. Compston might have had the better of it, but Alexander picks it off for the Storm. Infield, Hartley. He was dragged. And then Tomer's caught. He got a hand to the ball, said the umpire. Thrum grabbed Brereton. Bit of a size mismatch. Alexander's in underneath. It's a day for the hard and in and under midfielders. Geordie Wilson bangs it inside the forward 50 for Strathfieldsaye. Coe desperately trying to seek some safety. He found it in Jaden Burke, who blasted back out the other side. Good hurried kick. Ended up finding the chest of Barrett at half back.
Barrett, short pass over the top. He's got support. It's pretty good through Harry Burke. In fact, another one out of bounds on the full. Seems like every time they move down that outside wing, Norm, that's going to happen.
Yes, well, that's 5 times now from Golden Square, 5 times out on the full, going up the outer wing.
So the free kick will be with Joseph Mays. His side, the Storm, trail by 15, but nothing to worry about if you're home listening to this game, because half-time will give us a better indication, Norm, because the conditions are pretty tough with a pretty strong, we'd almost call it a wind, let alone a breeze.
Well, I really say that Strath have won this quarter because they've been able to exit their back half with short kicks and keep the ball moving instead of going long, and we'll see how they play the second quarter and how Golden Square play the second quarter, because as we saw here a couple of weeks ago, Eagle Hawk had an excellent second quarter against the wind when they took full control.
Joseph Mays basically had to go and collect his own footy. That's hence the
no
delay.
Crowd today, yes.
He's going to go back 30. Geez, it was made Blandford work with the kick. Now he's deep in his back zone. He'll come further laterally. Mulquinny will receive for the Storm. Oh, it's a horrible ball. They're going to turn it over here. Big mistake. Joel Brett, but good strong tackling the Storm.
Good second effort by McQuinney there. He made sure that the Golden Square player and Joel Brett did not get clear.
Overpossessed. Lucky to get away with it, really.
Yep. Absolutely. They might yet get away with it. Here is Mulquinny off the tap from Compston. And Hallinan's got it in the back pocket for Strathfieldsaye. Comes out to the broadcast side, finds Wilson. He's got a runner over the top in James if he wants to use him. He almost kicked it to his dad, who was on the bench. It would have gone out of bounds on the full from Riley Wilson, but in the nick of time, the siren sounded. A goalless opening term for Strathfieldsaye. We wouldn't have said that too many times in recent history, but kicking against a significant wind in that opening term. They had 5 scoring shots, so too did Golden Square, but it's the Dogs by 15 points at quarter time. Golden Square 3-2-20, Strathfieldsaye 5 behinds at the end of one. 2v3 on your Saturday afternoon. Big clash coming your way here. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
It feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And Berry plant will show you how. Turn the key and flick the light. Bendigo, you know it's right. Feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. It feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And berry plant will show you how. Turn the key and flick the light. Bendigio, you know it's right. Feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home.
And yet to bother the scorer for the Storm, but they were pretty impressive in that opening turn, I feel.
Joel Brett was dangerous in the opening term for Golden Square. Ricky Monty was lively in the early stages, like Brodie James' work up forward as well. And Tom Tomer, he's already getting a stack of it, as we would expect. Norm, for the Storm, who's impressed you?
Riley Wilson, second ruckman. Lockie Ratcliffe down back, along with Patrick Blanford, have been good. Quinny's done a few nice things, as has Carson James.
So underway here in the second term, and Stevens will waltz out of the middle with it. Kicks up toward half forward. McCarty slid in, couldn't take the mark, and Liam Dogood bursts back the other way for Golden Square. Kicks up toward half forward, sliding out is Blanford, who looks like he might have shifted onto Monty here in this second term. Now Strosh will poke it inside the arc for the Dogs. Looking for Barrett, couldn't take the mark. Weaving his way through the traffic is Dogood, slips a couple of tackles, puts it on the right boot toward Freckleton, couldn't find him as the target. Webb comes with it for Strathfieldsaye and loops it over the top to Brereton, and the Storm are away.
He is away, and he'll kick it to half forward. Good spot up pass it was. Finds Gill. Lockie Gill will turn and go. He kicked it to the top of the square, and there was probably having a shot in the end, but it was neither. It was a little bit of a half in and half out. Eventually it just pulled over the line and find a score. So they've got a goal now at the Storm. That's 6 behinds. They're 6 behinds and they trail the Square 3-20. Opening minute, second term, Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Yes, I think he was hoping that ball would sit for Cal McCarty to just be able to walk into an open goal, but it bounced end over end.
Just doubling back to that matchup, they haven't made the switch, so Blanford is back on Brett. He was getting some instruction from Lockie Sharp at quarter time, interestingly, Norm, was Pat Blanford. Lockie Sharp knows a thing or two about playing on a crafty small
Well,
forward.
that's right. He'd know what Joel Brett was trying to do up there. Give him an insight into what was required.
Good work from the captain. Here's Barrett, hoists it high inside the forward 50. Hamish Morecambe to take mark of the year as he did back in round 2. Ratcliffe, handball over the top. Well done from Stevens. Went upstairs and pulled it down and shot it short to Alexander, and now to Hallinan. The Storm open it up on the Peter Moroney wing. James has a play at it for Strathfieldsaye. He can loop the handball out wide. Low kick inside the 50 onto the chest of Sharp, who's got the breeze at his back, but he's marked just inside the arc.
That transitional play of Strathfieldsaye was great to see. The boys haven't got it into their heads that you kick long to let the wind do your work for you. They're still trying to run that ball and possess it.
So 6 goals back in round 2 for Lockie Sharp. Back at the ground where he played his under-18 footy here at Golden Square. Ernst might have had the arms chop as he tried to take the mark at the top of the square.
I think he was unlucky there. It probably should have been a free kick.
Ball up deep inside forward 50 here at Storm.
They attack. They've got the win. Ernst picked it up, and then a little handball. It's probably a little bit severe for Gill. Hurried kick beyond 50 for the Dogs. Tracking the football did well was James. James now will go long. In fact, they're going to turn it over. It'll be the Storm now. Receiving it will be... Cliff goes inside forward 50, shallow. They're screaming for a free kick. All tied up and 49 out from... We'll have a ball up.
Yeah, that's not the way to go through a pack. Put your head down and try and charge straight through front on.
Compston had a fresh area in the ruck. Hickman was there waiting at their feet, tried to shovel it out, then had to turn tackler. Locks it up 40 metres out from the defensive goal for the Dogs. 3-2 plays 5 behinds, in fact 6 behinds. They haven't added that one to Strathfieldsaye that was kicked in the opening minute, so it's a 14-point ball game. If you're around the ground, the scoreboard's slightly misleading at the moment. Shishka for the Storm, kicks into the pocket. Through a couple of sets of hands, picked up by Geordie Wilson, hooks it across the face of goal as he goes around the body. And it goes out of play for a forward pocket. Liam Dogood just a little bit sore for a contest inside the forward 50, as it'll be tossed back to Storm deep in attack.
Yes, that ball bouncing out there is probably better for Storm than it going through for a point and Golden Square getting control.
in North Central. Donald lead 2-4 to Wedderburn 1-1 at quarter time.
Good day for the Ducks, Johnny.
Yeah, exactly. As Toma, he collected and handled it over the top. It was effective to Hickman of the Dogs. Outside defensive 50 now. They're under a little bit of pressure here, the Dogs, but they're doing well. Hurried kick by James, bangs it on the boot. Good mark. Now it's the Dogs. They'll look to build off the wing. Hurried long kick by Barrett. Inside forward 50. The Dogs, it's a foot race. It's 2-on-1. Who'll get there first? The two are with the golden square. Picked up nicely by Brett. And then he hurried his kick. I think goal. Probably didn't realise he had as much time. Probably could have done a little better. And in fact, it's no score and it'll be out of bounds and it'll be a ball in.
Interesting. Liam Dogood just limped off the ground from that last passage of play going down the outer wing.
15-point margin, Golden Square lead. They attack deep in the forward pocket.
Yeah, he went down inside the defensive 50s. That's a bit of a worry for the Dogs. Stevens dragged down in the tackle. Umpire said, give it to me. A ball up inside forward 50. Golden Square into attack. Compton and Brereton. Compton down decisively, but they had numbers waiting for it. Shishka off to Hallinan, who finds Riley Wilson inside the defensive 50 for the Storm. Has the agency of the overlap of Hallinan. He kicks out toward Geordie Wilson. Can collect on the bounce. Got run over by Jonathan Coe. It's a free kick every day of the week, even with the size discrepancy. And Geordie Wilson will take it from just in front of the wing for Strathfieldsaye. Pokes his pass to brother Riley, who looks inside the 50, sees Sharp, goes in that direction. Ball will get out the back, but Mulqueeney's not quick enough, and no one would have been to keep that inside the field of play. And it'll be tossed back in 15 metres around from the Strathfieldsaye goal. 3-2, play 6 behind, 6 minutes gone, second quarter.
It was good to see that last passage of play that Golden Square learnt that exiting defence, they've got to keep the ball low and run it. First couple of times they just banged away.
They've been inside forward 50 for the majority of this second term. Tracking the footy now will be Gill for the Storm. They're sharing it around. Nice bit of work by Webb. Little handball off to Riley Wilson, who'll go goalward, and Wayward again. And it'll be another minor score. So they're peppering.
See how that kick floated, Johnny?
Yes, that's 7 points.
It was the old dead pigeon.
Old dead pigeon. So is that scoreboard wrong, Norm? I reckon
Yes,
it's
it is.
Should be 07.
to 20 as Jack Geary will kick it well beyond 50 for the Dogs.
It's a booming kick.
Against the wind.
Yeah, absolutely. Barrett couldn't drag it in. Thrums out the back. He toe pokes it forward, but it ricochets out of play for a throw in just forward of the wing for Golden Square on that Peter Moroney side. 368 senior games. Peter Moroney here at Wade Street. You know how I know that, Norm? Because it's on the sign over there.
It is too, yes. An excellent wingman too here at Golden Square. Love coming to watch Peter play.
Gee, they've had a few of those in their time. They've had some very good sides, of course. These two teams met in a grand final 10 years ago this year, back in 2013. Off the stoppage, Mulqueeney, he's been good so far. Handball infield. Alexander just rumbles through the pack, kicks into the centre of the ground on the bounce for James. Gee, it almost got caught between his knees there. He couldn't pick it up cleanly at all, Carson James. Barrett in. Barrett kicks to full forward. Freckleton got rid of his opponent. Couldn't take it cleanly. Ball on the deck inside forward 50 for the Dogs. But the Storm's got numbers. Gill with a clearing kick. In fact, Ratcliffe goes long and high. Stevens went past it. Barrett, in fact, Hartley kicks it inside forward 50 for the Dogs. Again, it's 30 metres out from Golden Square's goal, and it's in the mess. Stewart picks it up, throws it around the body. It's not going to have the journey, though, and Blandford's there in the back pocket for the Storm.
Short pass, still pressure now, fumbling footy. Good work, Golden Square. Barrett on the end of a handball. He's hard up against the boundary line. He'll go around the corner, goalward. Storm. It's Brereton who was there. He'll go down the middle, so they're not mucking around here, the Storm. You wouldn't either, because they've got the win. Webb receives. Deep in his defensive 50. Looking to bring it down broadcast side. Centering ball, though. That's okay. To Bonnie. Bonnie. 30 metres from his defensive goal. That's behind him. Oh, he's kicked it straight to Toma. Toma almost called for it. Then he runs goalward and slams it through. Boy, oh boy, the mother of all turnovers that was. and they've let Golden Square in against a pretty strong breeze, so could prove pretty costly. Golden Square Dogs go to 4-26 to 7 behinds the Storm, and we're 9 minutes in the second term. Footy fresh is Bendigo footy. That was the most bizarre, Norm, wasn't it?
It was. Blandford there tried to find a teammate further down the ground, but he sat the ball up too high, and it was easy pickings for Tommy Toma there. Read it well. Nobody chased him. He had plenty of time to steady and kicked an easy goal.
So 19 points the spread, back in the middle. Ernst rips it away for Strathfieldsaye, bangs blindly inside 50. Hickman had his name written all over it. Geordie Wilson had a good hold of his jumper. Umpire said it was okay. Coe tumbles it outside the defensive 50. Skewed off the side of the boot. Picked up by Slater of the Dogs to Webb around the body. Floats it inside the arc, but Jonathan Coe's there to intercept for Golden Square.
Yeah, Strath's kicking going forward into their forward 50 hasn't been good this quarter. There's been 2 or 3 dead pigeons.
And now they're going to go the reverse horseshoe with Tommy Strosh, who sends it outside the defensive 50, out towards Shelton. It's knocked away from him, over and out for a throw-in.
I come up with another beauty last week, or the last game. I just can't remember it.
Must have been really good then.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it,
Yeah.
Norm? Surely it was.
Highly memorable for all of us.
I reckon it might have been Cam Power that was here, and he just didn't get the old humour. As the umpire throws it in, the wind's still a factor here. Compton and Ernst. Now it's the Storm. It's a hurried shot at goal through Slater, and Slater slews the footy as he kicks it to the town end, which is the goal-scoring end, one would think, with this advantage for another minor score. 8 behinds on Golden Square, 4-2-26. 11 minutes gone, second term. Footy fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Dogs will bring it back into play. Lovely kick finds Hickman from fullback. He goes over the top and finds Monty. One of the better contributors throughout the course of the season, Ricky Monty. Right on the back point of the square. Kicks infield to Thrum. Just behind the centre circles. Thrum loops it over the top to Vaz, who's now just behind the front point of the square. Back to Thrum. Left foot kick into the pocket. Really well work from the Dogs. Morecambe's marked. He's 45 from home. Squares it up. Low kick to full forward. Mark taken. And is that Strosh who's run end to end? Inside forward 50? It is.
It is, yes. They got it out of the back defence, and he ran right through the middle of the ground as that ball came down the commentary side wing.
So Tommy Strosh has got it. One of the young guns for Golden Square. 6 goals on the season from his 9 games. Puts through his 7th and keeps Golden Square's lead building. 5-2-32 to the Storm, 8 behinds. And we've played 13 minutes in the second term. Footy fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Yes, that was far too easy for Golden Square there. Strathfieldsaye's defence, they lost their shape. They allowed players to run into space. Short balls went forward. And it was excellent play by Golden Square. And that final kick by Joel Brett was Hamish Morecambe was a magnificent kick.
Now Compton collected the footy from the ruck contest, gave it by hand to Geary, who gave it to Hartley. So the Dogs will go inside forward 50 again. Storm wouldn't want to give up another one now. Webb received a handball. He let it bounce and was clever enough to gather. And it was a good spot up to Riley Wilson of the Storm. He hurries quickly with the kick. Going at it one-handed was Threlful. They've got the numbers. Now it's Coe over the top by hand to Compton. But hurried kick now forward, Golden Square, the Storm. Wilson, little handball. It was an effective give to Mel Quinney, who runs goalward and puts it through for their first of the afternoon. Wow, it felt like it was a long time coming for the Storm. They'll go to 1-8-14. They trail 5-2-32 halfway through this second term. Footy fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Yes, that was better football by Strathfieldsaye as they went forward. Jordan Wilson was able to get out the back, create the handball, which went to Webb and then on to Mulquinny. And Mulquinny made no mistake, took his time, sized it up and put it straight through the centre.
Just his second goal of the season, Darcy Mulquinny, but finished like he knew exactly what he was doing. Back in the middle, Compton down to Geary, who just posted up Bo Alexander. Reeled it in with one hand, got the kick away up to Vaz, who kicked it straight up and down on his own head. Xavier Murley fought for the ball. Jack Geary got one in the back. Free kick going to the square captain. 55 from home. Immediately looked for Thrum to provide some overlap run. Once he got it full forward, Strosh is lurking. Morecambe's providing a deep target. He goes shallower than that and just drops it onto the chest of Hartley.
Did he mean it though, Joel?
40 out, directly in front. If he meant it, it was very good. And if he didn't, it might have even been better.
Doesn't matter, you can snick him through snips, can't you, Norm? Still it's 4, isn't it?
That's right, but good, excellent positioning by Ryan Hartley to just stand in front of the pack there.
So Hartley on the way in and just sneaks it in. Ryan Hartley, lovely set shot. And the Dogs have got another 6-2, 38 to the 1-14. 15 minutes to the second term. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Look, I'll give that goal to Jack Geary there. I think he saw Hartley out of the corner of his eye and no mistake in putting it right on his chest as he was standing in front of the play.
Back into the middle we go. Storm look to get another one on the board because the margin's just getting a bit too far away in these conditions. Murley, he collected by hand, gives it to Monty. Monty on the left into the pocket, but went to the Storm through Hallinan. Hallinan's short pass. Oh, horrible kick. They're going to give up another one now. Joel Brett, it's like Christmas down there. For his second, 2 bad turnovers by the Storm has cost them dearly, Norm. And at the end of the game, you think it will as well. 7-2-44. They lead 1-8-14. And we've gone 17 minutes in this second term.
Yes, the cardinal sin in football. Don't kick across the face of goal or back into the goal square unless you have a player all on his own. They didn't have a player on his own there. Joel Brett was lurking. Ball hit the ground. He was the quickest one to get there and recover, and had an easy kick off the ground out of the goal square for his second goal of the day to become the first multiple goal kicker.
It's a 30-point lead now to Golden Square. And again, they're kicking against the wind here in this second term. Storm with a clearance through Alexander. Kicks out to right half forward. Carson James will chase after it, so to Threlfall. Neither can keep it in. It'll be tossed back into play about 65 metres around from the Strathfieldsaye goal. It's the one goal through Darcy Mulquinny about 4 minutes ago. 1 goal, 8, the Storm.
killing them. A lot of killing this is going to I'll go home crying next. Come on, doggies! Come on, doggies! Yep, he's got it. He's kicking it. Come on, doggies!
Deep.
Go, doggies, go! Come on, doggies!
Come on! Rosie! Yep! Frick! Rock!
Come on, doggies!
Frick! Arthur!
Come on, doggies! 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 Go, doggies! Come on, doggies! Come on, doggies! Come on, doggies! Come on, doggies!
Go!
Doggies! Come on, doggies! Come on, doggies!
Right off! Oh, both fuck.
Come on, doggies!
Dewey has me told.
Nah, Dewey won.
Come on, doggies!
Yeah, no, yeah.
Feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And berry plant will show you how. Turn the key and flick the light. Bendigio, you know it's right. Feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like It feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And berry plant will show you how. Turn the key and flick the light. Bendigio, you know it's right. Feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home.
Of making sure that they manned up Jack Geary. It hasn't been happening. When Jack's been in defence, Jack's been by himself. They haven't been watching where he is, and he certainly set up a majority of Golden Square's forward attack out of defence in that second quarter. So for me, Strath have got to get a little bit more knowing where their opposition are, and especially where Jack Geary is, because as we've seen, you let Jack get loose, and Jack, the old head on old shoulders, certainly shows the way to the younger Golden Square players.
Half-time in the North Central Footy League. Donald 6-5-41 lead Wedderburn 4-3-27. Birchip Watcham 7-2-44 leads Charlton 5-2-32. Sea Lake Nairn Daily with big Josh Jenkins playing up front. 9-15-69 leads St Arnaud 1-2-8. The kicker there is they kicked 7 goals, 14 in the opening quarter. They had 21 scoring shots in the opening quarter.
With the wind, you would think, Joel.
I would say there's a fair bit of wind up there at Sea Lake, Norm. And we know that Witcherproof Narraport were leading Boort as well in their game. 4-1-25 to 3 behinds. In the second quarter, the Dogs led by 15 points at quarter time here. They lead by 36 as we go into the second half. On Footy Fresh is John Hunter.
Ernst into the ruck now against Compton. Ernst didn't win the tap, but he won the footy in the end and then headed over the top for Wilson. Couldn't find him. That'll be Dogs. Short pass. Broadcast side wing. Little give over the top was cute by Stevens of the Storm. Getting on the end of a kick was Ernst. The Storm now. He received a nice little pass from Joseph Mays. Ernst now. He goes long, shallow inside, kicks it to a contest. And in fact, it wasn't even a contest in the end. And kicked straight to Burke. John Burke.
Burke doesn't have a really big, tall forward matchup down there today. He's just been dropped off and doing as he pleases. Goes across to Strosh inside the defensive 50. The Dogs build down the outer side. Morecambe with a trademark hanger. Oh, what a star he is. Kicks centre half forward, and Thrum will win a free kick here. Hamish Morecambe every week.
Morecambe was dealt with after he got rid of the football with that centering kick into Thrum, which unfortunately for Strath, but a late bump after Morecambe got rid of the ball gave it away.
Yeah, it was stupid play from the Strathfieldsaye player. He was probably just embarrassed that Morecambe sat on his head, Norm.
Yes.
Wasn't a bad non-mark from Riley, by the way, because he marked it after the kick. As he comes off, he's got a little bit of claret coming out of his chin.
So just a half forward for the Dogs. He's got leads everywhere. Toma's arcing around side forward 50. Brett's going to the pocket. The kick will go. It's a little bit more central than that. Hallinan knocked it down. Run down was Mulquinny inside defensive 50 for the Storm. Toma took a knock on the top of the head. Now back out toward the top of the arc. Another centering kick. Brett fights for it. McCarty's there. He's tackled by Brett. Drops the ball. Goes into the mess. Alexander's got his head over it. And that's where it will stop. 35 metres out from the Dogs' goal. They kick to the city end here in this third term. They trail, or they lead, in fact, by 36.
Yeah, they're doing well. Storm under pressure. Hickman collects now for the Dogs. Then he coughed it up. Ernst diving in after the footy. Ugly bit of play again. umpire has to blow his whistle and cross his arms, stoppage, and says, I'm going to ball it up.
Just looking at the way the players are situated at present, Patrick Blandford has been given the job to follow Jack Geary in this second half.
Morecambe receives a ball, then feeds it out wide by hand, looking for James. Couldn't find him. To Shishka now. Shishka will collect, then he dropped it, fumble right at the wrong moment, and the ball spills and goes over the boundary line for a ball in. 70 metres around from goal to the city end, Golden Square attack. They've got the win, 52 playing 16. Footy fresh as Bendigo Football Live.
Been well and truly in control of this game for the majority of it. Golden Square tossed back in. Hickman comes away from the stoppage. Left foot kick inside the 50. Coming out is Barrett. Great mark. Clutches it to his chest as he hits the turf. He's dragged it in 40 metres out directly in front.
Yes, had eyes for football only there, Barrett. 2 or 3 opponents and a teammate in the pack, and he made it his, got it on his chest, and never let it out as he fell to ground.
So Liam Barrett, he'll kick from 45 metres out. It's an absolute copter. And it just falls on the chest of Ben Lester.
And interesting to note that all his teammates felt that it was going to go all the way because there was nobody in the goal square.
If that wasn't a dead pigeon, nothing was. As Threlfall marks it for Golden Square on left half forward as the ball came out. So that's only momentarily. Now it goes back inside forward 50 to the top of the square. They'll set themselves. Juggling mark! The Dogs will have another look at goal and extend the lead through Morecambe, who's just starting to get involved in his hands on the footy. And only, 15 metres out, Norman, not much of an angle, so just kick through the footy.
That's what he's got to do. He's got to lean forward, kick through.
Oh, well, he tried to do everything wrong, but he got it right, if that made sense. He stabbed, he poked, and it just snuck through for Morecambe's first. They'll extend the lead here. It's getting a little bit out of range now. 9-4-58. Golden Square. They lead the Storm 110-16. We've gone 4 minutes. Third term, footy fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Yes, as you said, John, he tried to do everything wrong. It amazes me how players, when they're out around the ground, they head over the ball, they lean forward, they kick through the ball, they get in front of goal, and all they want to do is poke it through and make sure it goes through. If you're in front of goal and in a position like that where you're only 15 metres out, you make sure you ram that ball through and you kick through it so that you do not lean back on it and pull it, because he almost pulled that left and he just snuck inside the goalpost.
Last 4 of the game now for the Dogs. After they kicked the first 5 of the game, interspersed by the goal to Darcy Mulquinny, the only one for the Storm so far at the restart. Hartley away to Toma, kicks to the wing, and a good mark pulled in by James, who's been good in the long sleeves this afternoon. Left foot kick to centre half forward. Lovely vision finds Compston. Compston off to Toma. Toma into the pocket. Brett will just play at the feet of the forwards here. He looped around, but it didn't come to him, and Bonnie's there to see it across the boundary line and out for a throw in as the sun peeks its head out through the clouds here at Wade Street. Those 2 flags, one above us on the grandstand and on the outer side there, fluttering quite viciously at the moment in this wind as it's tossed back into play inside 50 for the Dogs.
Compston, big punch forward, looking for Morecambe. Webb gets involved with the Storm and cleverly puts it over the line for a ball in. Only metres around from the goal that the Dogs attack, which is the city end, which is the wind, and I'm calling it a wind because it's pretty tough out there, but at both ends, Golden Square are playing it a lot better than what the Storm are. In the ruck now was Brereton on this occasion for the Storm. Spills to McCarty, who feeds out a handball, but it's hard up against the boundary line and goes over. Alexander couldn't quite collect. Another ball in. 20 metres around from goal. Deep in the pocket, Golden Square lead. 58-16, footy fresh as Bendigo Football Live.
Boundary umpire flings it over his head. Brereton might have had the better of the tap, but Toma was straight onto it for Golden Square. McCarty lays a good tackle, squirts out the back to Toma, throws it on the right boot, and it will not score. It floats out of bounds on the full. And the free kick to be taken on the last line by Benny Lester for Strathfieldsaye. They trail by 42 points to the Storm. having won their past 5 coming into today. Defeated Gisborne by 27 last time out. Golden Square in red-hot form, the highest scoring side in the competition, and doing it pretty easily so far. Mark to Vaz from a long kick in. He can send the Dogs back inside 50.
He just kicked a 2-on-1 contest then. And it's Golden Square again. It's another turnover. Do good. He was in the middle of the pack there. Probably unrealistic attempt. It'll be the Storm emerging now through Hallinan. Short pass to Wilson. Wilson steps around Jack Geary. Then he tries a tube, which was absolutely ridiculous under the circumstances, really. Why do that?
It's not deliberate, but he probably deserves to have a free kick bait against him.
It was the tube and
But if he got onto it, Golden Square had 3 players back behind the ball between the goals and the kicker.
Never looked like he was going to get onto it.
No, he didn't.
Tube, torpedo on the run's pretty ambitious.
Well, it would have held up in the wind anyway. Now, that's kicking in danger. Ernst, from the kick in, from the ball in fact, Ernst threw his boot at it, and umpire Scott Baxter said, no, you can't do it. No point arguing young Ernst, because you won't change his decision.
He was onto that one, though. He started to have the conversation with Scott Baxter, and he put his hand up and said, no, I'm not going to do that.
Thompson, free kick. He gives it over to Threlfall. He goes shallow inside, forward 50, and a good pass. It came from the Dogs through Stewart. A good hard lead to Joel Brett, who's just presenting nicely this afternoon. And he'll have another shot at goal. Not much of an angle, 35 out when he kicks it. The only thing he'll have to allow for, Norm, as we've talked about ad nauseum, is this pretty strong breeze.
Yes, but I think he's got more experience than a lot of these other boys, and he'll start this to the left and let it drift to the right.
Joel Brett, the Dogs, starts left, drifts to the right, but not quite enough for a minor score. Not quite enough there, Norm, as they increase the lead, and it's a big lead at the moment. 9-5-59, the Dogs, 1-10. The Storm. We've gone about 9 minutes in this third term. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
The reason Joel Brett got that chance was that he was in front, but Jack Stewart didn't take control of the ball, just kicked it off the ground, and it was a lovely pass off the ground from the back of the pack.
Continues to impress Jack Stewart, the teenager. Webb to try it in from fullback for the Storm. Kicks toward Gill and Brereton, but the Dogs take possession again. Barrett drives it to full forward. Good mark from Leicester. Juggled it in safely and then chips it to Hoare in the back pocket. Some interesting stats from Premier Data. So that the company that does the numbers for the Bendigo Footy League, they do numbers for a lot of leagues around the state. Some averages for sort of where teams stand around footy in Victoria as Burke takes the mark, plays on infield. Hickman, the target of the kick. Blandford threw his boot, wrapped up by Geordie Wilson in the centre of the ground. They both wanted a free kick, neither getting it in the ball up. So Strathfieldsaye possess the ball and kick the ball and mark the ball more than any other team that Premier Data tracks in Victorian footy.
In the whole state.
Yep, so nearly 400 disposals a game, 120 marks a game, and 245 kicks a game. And you see the way that they play, possessed it, and you see that those are absolutely spot on.
Barrett wins it for the Dogs, goes inside forward 50, looking for Morecambe, who ran underneath the footy. It is Hallinan now, he tracks it, but then loses it. Hurry kick, Dogs goes up the chimney. Freckles been relatively quiet, couldn't get it. A collect there by, it was Hoare for the Storm. He puts it wide, out of or just have a look at the umpire. I think it might be a throw-in.
It's a throw-in, and
what you're suggesting, Joel, is that the reason they're losing the game, they're possessing in windy conditions. That's the bottom line.
I think that the way that they play isn't suited to these conditions. It's just not. A third out of all those teams, 386 disposals a game, but they're more of a forward half team, so it's ball forward of centre, and they don't try and build it up in the same way. And again, they've taken advantage of those opportunities so far today. And whether it's correlation or causation, I'm not sure, but it just think that the Storm could maybe change about the way they're going about it. They're inside forward 50 here, and Jake Thrum's got it at full back. Just took the mark in front of the closing Riley Wilson. Chips it across 50 to find Trelfall, who plays on for the Dogs. Kicks outside the defensive 50, straight down the throat of Caleb Ernst, who's a big target. He's hard to miss, and he drags the mark in as he falls to the turf between the wing and half forward.
He's a long way from home. He looked to put it inside forward 50. He just props it up, holds up in the breeze. It was poor. It was almost as if he didn't look. He kicked it straight to Burke, Jaden Burke. He goes laterally. That was a good pass. He spots up a teammate. Might be Barrett with the footy. He's just weighing up his options as well. And you know what, with the Storm, Joel, once upon a time they had the personnel to get away with that kind of game. They're almost getting their capabilities and their ambitions mixed up because they just can't see the game plan through, I don't think.
This isn't a team like the Strathfieldsaye we've known in the last 6 or 7 years.
Shelton collects for the Dogs. Can't get... taps it out to Riley Wilson of the Storm. So he goes inside forward 50. Good body work, Co. Then he undid all his good work. Might be a free kick for the Storm here for one high. Umpire doesn't agree. Falling over at the right time, whichever way it was Slater. Get a kick. Ball up, 30 metres out. Attacking the Storm. Let's see if they can get one on the
ball. Work is Ratcliffe. Squirts out the back. And it'll be rolled by Strosh for the Dogs. Paddles it forward. Hickman's there outside the defensive 50. Shoved across the boundary line by McCarty. It'll be thrown back into play. Out of sight of the ground. Left half forward for Strathfieldsaye. Kicked only one goal in this game. 1-10 to Golden Square's 9-5. With 13 minutes to the third term, footy fresh is Bendigo football live at the stoppage. Dogs work it forward. Vaz to Geary, who's run down Blandford, got caught holding. Great chase. And the Storm defender will take a free kick from right on halfway.
The non-officiating umpire, interestingly there, Scott Baxter, awarded that, and it was the correct decision.
The other umpire was going to award it too, but Baxter was just a bit quicker.
Short pass, Ratcliffe receives. Short pass forward again, building something here, the Storm now. Taking the mark was McCarty. He's had his hands on the footy a fair bit.
Now this kick, somebody from Strath's got to stand in front of the pack in case it drops short.
He goes wide, I don't get into the swimming pool. Kick straight to Compston, which is a turnover. Compston basically marked it unopposed. Story of the afternoon. Compston now beyond defensive 50. It's a long kick. They'll set themselves. Merle, he jumped early. Vaz handballs over the top. They're just running in numbers here, the Dogs. Inside forward 50. The hard lead by Morecambe. The ball is just out of reach. And over the boundary line it goes for a ball in. 40 metres around from the goal that the Dogs attack. City End, they lead 59-16. Halfway through this third term, footy fresh is Bendigio football 5.
It's the one thing that Strath have been able to do this quarter. They've been able to stop Jack Geary getting the ball out of defence, but they haven't stopped the other boys.
Tossed back into play. Here's Murley with a chance for Golden Square inside the 50. Handball looking for Jack Geary. Taken away by the Storm. Keep it in, and it goes out for a ball in. It'll be tossed back in. Let's have a message from Wendy James, one of the good people in local sports admin. And it confirms what I thought, that the two James boys out there, Carson and Brady, are actually brothers playing on either side.
All the time.
Yep. I think Carson, and Wendy would be able to confirm, I'm pretty sure Carson's the younger of the two. But, yeah, so playing on either side and certainly playing their role so far. Kick inside, forward 50 for the Dogs. Gee, Hallinan got upstairs and came flying over the top of the pack to fist it clear. Well done from Stevens. Handball to Ernst, and now the Storm can chain it forward by hand. On to Slater. Tumbles a kick up to left half forward. Didn't look. There was absolutely no one there, and it was easy pickings for Shelton, who shoots it back the other way and finds Hickman on the outer side.
He's been good this afternoon. He's workmanlike, that's for sure.
Very talented young player.
Hickman now on the left. He runs and goes. Got it up, Vaz. The Storm lost interest. Why leave him alone? Now Vaz will go inside forward 50 to a running Hartley. I don't know if he gave that or tapped it. It was to a running Vaz. Is it a goal? I reckon he's put it through. He has. And it might be, in fact, Strosh that picked up the footy hard up against the boundary line, shot it goalward. They all looked in awe and just followed it, and bang, through she went, Norm. That was unbelievable in the end.
It was excellent passage of play from Golden Square. It was quick hands by Braden Vass. The ball came to him in a pack situation. He was able to get it out to It's running past, and Tommy Strosh sat the ball up in the wind, kicked to the left goal post, and just let the wind do the job and take the ball back through the goals. Once again, Golden Square have read the game better than what Strath had in the conditions today.
Back into the middle. It was Constant that won it. He tapped in the direction of Monty. Hardy picks up for the Storm. Umpire lets it go. The ball shoveled in the direction.
That's
of the
around the
teammate.
neck.
Round the neck. It'll be a free kick.
No,
it's not.
a ball up, but it should have been around the neck for a free kick, and no wonder the Strath.
Storm haven't scored since the 24-minute mark of the third term, so we've gone almost a quarter of football scoreless. Here's Riley Wilson, who's done his level best so far this afternoon. Apart from his attempted torpedo run, he's been very good. Hill slides his kick along the boundary line. Infield, Slater had it stolen by Monty. Links up with Geary. Handball off to Toma. And now to James. Brodie James drives the Dogs toward half forward. Brett was waiting for it out the back. It didn't get to him. Webb was there. Handball to Wilson. Ran into trouble. Caught holding the ball. Free kick to the Dogs. Taken away by Hartley. Kicks to full forward. Freckleton's got some space. Needs it to sit for him. It does. He retreats. Interesting decision in the end. He went to try and find Vaz. He had it tumble through his legs. Now Freckleton tried to take possession again at right half forward. Vaz lays the tackle. 2-on-1. Golden Square have numbers. And we're going to get a ball up. That was an interesting passage of play with Freckleton giving so much ground. Ball up just outside the forward 50 for the Dogs.
Well, we're approaching the back end of the season, and I think the Dogs are making a statement here. McCarty goes to Shishka by hand for the Storm. Short pass, put his teammate under pressure. It was too severe for Alexander. Now it comes inside forward 50 for the Dogs, and it will be a Storm mark. Might be McCarty again. But Golden might be 50 as well. It is. Didn't see what the 50 was for, Norm.
The ball was knocked out of his hands as he went to get up, and the umpire picked it up.
Golden Square making a statement today, and dare I say it, you can almost put a line for mine through just based on McCarty now plays on. It'll be a long left footer. Holds up in the breeze. They'll set themselves. It's all Golden Square Dogs. It's a mark. Shelton, short pass to James. James receives by foot. Then he kicks it long down the line. One-on-one contest. Storm did well. Defensively punched it. Goes in the direction of Slater, who received. They're building here now. It's a running Storm. Hallinan goes long, inside forward 50. Jonathan Coe sees it over the boundary line for the Dogs. Ball in.
Do you put them along with them even though they've got so many players to come back?
I think so, Joel. If you're winning the Melbourne Cup, this is when you start now. And, geez, it'll be a big effort, just based on what I've seen today. But ask me again in 3 weeks.
Yeah, we'll check back in on that one. Things can change in a hurry, that's for sure. Here's Ratcliffe, who wasn't happy with the treatment from Braden Vaz. A little bit of push and shove on the ball again, and we'll have another ball up. Strathfieldsaye 1-10-16. They've still got a bit of ground to make up to get to their past their lowest score in club history, which happened relatively recently against Eagle Hawk, where they kicked 2 goals and 9 in an entire game of football. Well, that's got to be a free kick to James. That might have been his brother, I think. I think that was Carson that grabbed Brodie high. It was. And they have a little bit of push and shove. Brodie stands over him and shoves him into the ground. Nice little bit of play between the siblings. We'll have a ball up at half forward for the Storm.
Sunday lunch might be interesting tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know how Mum would feel about that.
No, she's probably pretty proud as a free kick to the top of the square for the Storm. Here's their first real chance to get their second goal in quite a while. Well, that's what it feels like. Jack it up over the top. Handballs. Toma. James running. Handball received. Bounces. Then on the left. Kicks it to a contest. Vaz had front. And it will be a ball in. And Joel, also, it's all right having the players, but you need stability as well, and fitness and all those type of momentum comes into it towards the back end. That's why, just let's say it's a little line that I'm drawing through them that can be easily rubbed out.
Look, I've got them fourth seed.
Yeah.
And I've had them as the fourth seed for a while. I think Sandhurst, Golden Square and Eagle Hawk are clearly better than Strathfield. I think they're fourth, and then they're probably better than South Bendigo, and that's about it. But I thought Golden Square would do this pretty comfortably today. This fights for the footy, just defend Golden Square. That's Jaden Burke, Toma, slick hands, but straight to Stevens. Now to Shishka for the Storm. Handball infield. Picked it up on the bounce, rifles it to half forward. Bonnie just had it slip through his hands at the last moment as they kick up the other end. Noticed I can't see Lockie Sharp out there at the moment and haven't seen him for a little while. Kick inside the 50. Brett read it best in flight and take the 50 for the Dogs. He's 35 from home, directly in front.
Yes, nice body work by Joel Brett there. Found himself at the back of the pack, able to hold his Strath opponent off the ball and make a little finger tipper as the ball went past him. Slips catch.
So Joel Brett on the runway. And he misses that one as well, away to the right-hand side. So 3-2 today for Joel Brett. 10-6-66 Golden Square. Storm still haven't scored in this quarter. 1-10-16. We're 23 minutes through the third. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
It's been impressive though, Norm, hasn't he? Joel Brett.
He has been. He's been very impressive today, whether it be above head or at ground level. And he's got plenty of pace, I've noticed too, which makes him a hard package to have to man up on.
Webble kicking in for the Storm. Plays on from fullback. Then he goes long into the... Shishka, good mark, tested. Should have probably been a 50 then. I reckon the man on the mark.
Disagree. The man on the mark was in the right spot. The handball was made and he robbed it.
Right, well, I was alluding to he might have moved off the mark, but if he was right on the spot, Hartley, and while all that was going on, Hartley gets a free kick on half forward for Golden Square. It's a long, high ball. That's going to make the distance, and it's a goal. Oh!
Touched on the line.
Call for a replay, I reckon. But it's a point. Webb right on the line. You called it, Norm. 10-6-66 to 1-11-17. I was right the first time, wasn't I? Let's go back. 10-7-67 to 1-10-16. We've gone 24 minutes, final term. And that went 65 metres almost, Norm.
Yeah, she used the breeze beautifully there.
51-point spread as the Storm bring it back into play. Mazer's kick over the top. Found its way to Bonnie somehow. McCarty slips the tackle. Alexander got run down. Shoved into the turf by Hartley. Storm still in possession. Slater's handball gave it up though. Morgan a chance. Oh, Hartley rides the bump from Stevens. Wonderful bit of play. And Toma can outlet to James on the outer side wing. Just needs it to bounce his way, which it did. He's 80 metres down. Half early upstairs. Can't mark. Storm player hits the deck hard in Hoare. He looks like he might be down for the count. He's rolling over, which is a good sign. As tackle and a ball up, but Hoare is very sore on the other side. There is Brady Hoare, and Bo Alexander's pretty well.
So some sore boys out there. The umpire throws it up, and it was another one where it just was allowed to bounce. They tried to grab it. We're at half forward now. Dogs attack. Good Morecambe, who went around the body. Need to be careful here, the Storm. They're going to concede another one, and it is. It's a goal. The pick-up by the Dogs was beautiful. Bit of Monty puts it on the left, and then he salutes the crowd with a bit of a. Somebody might have been giving him a bit of lip. Doesn't matter. It's a good goal again for the Square. Right in the shadows here of three-quarter time. They now go 11-7-67.
No, 11-7-73.
11-7-73. Sorry, didn't quite get the points. Not a dollar sign in front of that, Norm, but. Yeah, it was a good goal. 1-10-16 the Storm, and we must almost be full-time. Well, when I say full-time, three-quarter time. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Yes, and you've got to give that goal to Tommy Toma. A lovely slip of hand there just to knock the ball out the back into Ricky Monty's path. Sat the ball up there, aimed towards the goal post and let it just drift back, and it made no mistake.
Norm, this is fast becoming a bit of a shellacking.
It is fast becoming a bit of a shellacking between three on the lap.
2 and 3.
Gee whiz.
Looks like it's between the seconds and the thirds at the moment. Compton down to Toma. He kicks forward. We know that Strathfieldsaye have got a lot of players to come back from injury, but they've been a long way off the pace this afternoon, and Golden Square very impressive. Monty goes to ground in the middle of the glue pot. Got it out to Toma. Away to Thrum. Kicks inside the forward 50. Murley's across. So to his Webb. Neither can keep it in. And it'll be tossed back into play. It's eerily similar to the corresponding fixture last year. So at Wade Street last year, Golden Square beat Strathfieldsaye. I think that day was 80-22. One of the two occasions that the Storm only kicked 22 points in last season. Of course, the other one being grand final.
Yeah, as running through now was Monty from the throw-in, and he kicked it towards goal. Soccer off the ground, following up his own footy. And it's been popped through for another major.
Young Stewart.
It was Stewart that was riding shotgun. He followed up as well for his second. So it's becoming a little bit of an avalanche now as the score goes to 12-7-79 to 1-10-16. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live. And probably Reeves is the only one they've got to come a permanent fixture. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
Question without notice.
You would be about right there, John. He would be the only one to come back. Interesting to note now that Freckleton gets his chance in the ruck as Matty Compston gets the chance to have a break, have a sit down on the pine.
It'll be interesting to see whether Dogood, who went off in that earlier in the game, can, where he's at in terms of that injury as well, to keep an eye on for Golden Square. We know that that big Hosking went down in the opening minutes for Strathfieldsaye. Here's Brett at half forward. That's a rare skill error from Joel Brett. He kicked it straight to Riley Wilson, who was set upon by Tom Strosh and was chucked across the boundary line. It'll be thrown back into play. Out of side ground, right in the right forward pocket, about 45 metres around from the Golden Square goal. They've been dominant again in this term, kicking 4 goals, 3. Not scored. As Wilson tries to take it off the pack, Thrum lays a good tackle, and again it's out near the junction of the 50 in the boundary.
Yes, the last quarter is going to be interesting today. Will Golden Square go on with it against the wind, or can Strathfieldsaye get a little bit of composure back?
Square in attack from the ball in. Freckleton tapped it nicely to Monty. Manages it to get it to Hartley. By hand, Hartley gives it to Murley. He was tackled very well. Getting involved there was gave a hand to Hickman of the Dogs. It's all the Dogs, but the kick was just a little wayward. Webb intercepted for the Storm. Sends it to half back, and might have a free kick or a mark.
In the back, but I thought it was over the shoulder.
Right half back now, Wilson. He sets it up. His target was Gill. Gill ended up with the footy. Side of the boot as he goes shallow inside forward 50. Good contest. Oh, they're coughing it up left, right and centre. Burke handed ball it straight to the opposition Storm. And a kick goes inboard. It came spotted up leading Shishka, who took a chest mark. And at a pretty difficult distance, it's only 38 metres. But in these conditions, Norm, pretty tough to tell what can happen. Just kick straight through the footy and let the ball do its true work.
Yeah, I think he's got to look at the right-hand goal post, though, and just let the ball drift a little bit.
Shishka, he started at left and then it goes further left, won't make the distance. It was well offline, off hands, still in play. Umpire blows his whistle. There was a shot at goal after the whistle blew. As the siren sounds. 3/4 time, Golden Square did all the attacking in there in that third term. 12-7-79, they lead 1-10-16.
Stratford
Scoreless. Didn't bother.
That would not have happened too many times in this club's FNL history, and a little bit of light shower maybe falling at the moment here. A couple of spectators reaching for the umbrellas, and the sun certainly hasn't been on the back of Strathfieldsaye today. Golden Square have considerably outplayed the quarter time and have held them scoreless in that third term. They take a 63-point lead into the 12-7, the Storm 110 for Fresh. He's Bendigo Football Live.
It feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And Berry plant will show you how. Turn the key and flick the light. Bendigo, you know it's right. Feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. It feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And berry plant will show you how. Turn the key and flick the light. Bendigio, you know it's right. Feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home.
Final term here out at Princes Park. 12-11-83 lead Maryborough, 2-3-15. Eagle Hawk 12-11-83 lead Maryborough 2-3-15. South Bendigo by 43 points over Kangaroo Flat. 12-5 plays 5-4. Sandhurst by 33 over Kyneton. 7-13 3-4. And no score of Castlemaine. According to the scores, score or getting toward the list. It doesn't look like that will be the case. In the HDFL, thanks to Wayne Smith. Oh, Wayne's across everything here. There's some FNL here as well. FNL 8-8-56 lead Inglewood 2-4-16. So the Superoos going well. You can hear Daryl Billett on Monday night with Mike and the crew on Done and Dusted, the Inglewood coach. So might be a bit to discuss.
That's
there.
A bit of an upset coming.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Inglewood have been pretty solid this season.
He's only won 2 games this year.
5-3 to White Hills, 5-7-37. LBU 9-4-58 to Huntley, 6-9-45. In the North Central Footy League, it is by Bishop 300, 7-5-47 to 2-9-21. Other games in the North Central League we'll check in with shortly. In Bendigo Netball, a massive win to Sandhurst today over Kyneton, 92-38. Strathfieldsaye have run out winners over Golden Square, 75-27. And Eagle Hawk lead Maryborough 44-21. Get some best players in goal kickers as we go throughout this final term. We're about to get underway, and the Storm need to find something here in this last quarter. And Caleb Ernst will send them forward from the start. Riley Wilson's there at half forward to collect. Off to Webb, who kicks inside the 50 and puts it out of bounds on the full.
It's interesting.
Umpire says it's bounced on the chalk, and it'll be tossed back into play. Goal kickers to three-quarter time, Johnny?
Well, not many for Golden Square. They've got one, Mulquinny. And also for Golden Square, we've got Jack Stewart, Brett, and Brett's got 3, in fact. Stewart, Strosh with 2, and singles to Monty, Morecambe, Hartley, Toma, and Murley.
At the stoppage, Slater took it, hands it back.
We get a free kick over the shoulder.
Another tackle in it. It's going to be Geordie Wilson who's going to get the free kick. So they have not scored since the 24th minute of the second quarter, Strathfieldsaye. And they still need to kick another 5 points to avoid their lowest club score in their history. Geordie Wilson's in the left forward pocket. Slides it toward goal.
Perfect.
That's a magnificent kick. Where has that come from? Finally a goal for Strathfieldsaye. Almost 2 quarters after they kicked their last at the 13-minute mark of the second. Geordie Wilson strikes a blow to start the last term and reduces the gap to 57, 2-10 to 12-7. Norm, who's impressed you for the Storm so far today?
Well, so far for today, Riley Wilson, for mine, has been their better player. In the third quarter in particular, Shiska came into the game, as did Ernst, and Webb's battled manfully down back all day.
Back in the middle.
I might have to do a Mike Lowther, seeing as I'm doing the best players for Golden Square, and just run through the team
Run
sheet.
through it. As Webb picks it up from the middle after the ball up, kicks it to half forward. I said interesting before because Sharp's out there, but he doesn't seem to be getting involved much as Hartley tries to make a path for the Dogs in his back zone. They ask for a free kick and won't get it.
He's had a tough day. The delivery to him's been pretty poor, but Harry Burke's done a reasonable job as well.
He has. From the ball up, it came to Wilson again, who got possession of the footy. That's Geordie Wilson, and then put it goalward, but he was way offline. And goes over the line.
He got thrown just as he kicked that ball then. Had he not been thrown, it would have been bouncing towards goals. But Golden Square had 3 players back there goalkeeping, as they do all the time.
Dogs by 57. We've gone 4 minutes. Final term, Footy Fresh as Bendigo Football Live.
Baldy spun back in by the umpire. Hits the deck inside forward 50 for the Storm. It's hooked out of there by Toma. High up and under. Fighting for the ball. Not being able to take it cleanly was Monty, whose yellow boots are looking far more like brown at the moment after all the mud's been trodden over them. Barrett had a play at the ball. James got dragged down. The two brothers are at it again.
James got dragged down by James, yes.
Yeah, that was Carson who had the wood over Brody that time, and Big Bro didn't come in and give him a bit of a shove either, so that'll keep family relations happy. Ernst tumbles it inside forward 50. Getting a free kick. Strathfieldsaye backs to Slater's going to get it right on the edge of the 50. What can Slater spot? Webb loops around. Nice little darting run and then chips inside the 50 to find the goal kicker, Geordie Wilson, who's got it 40 out and about a 45-degree angle to the left.
Yeah, so a lot easier than his last one, Joel. It'll be interesting to see how he takes this one on. Does he go straight towards the left-hand goal post and let the ball drift back, or does he go straight towards the centre of goals?
I think Luke Webb wanted that back, and Geordie Wilson says, no, I'm going to take the set shot, and then he just left it a little bit narrow, minor score. So they're out of danger in terms of their lowest score and their second lowest score, Strathfieldsaye, in their club history, 2-11-23. To 12-7-79. Dogs still ahead by 56.
Jack Geary plays on from the kick in from fullback and send it beyond 50 looking for Toma. Rebounded off his chest. Now it's a turnover though. Storm are going to get another look here. It's a long ball. McCarthy inside forward 50 to the goal square. Sharp had it, hands on the footy. Geez, he had a piece of it right on the goal line, then just fumbled. In fact, it might have hit the post before he could get it, and that put him off, because that's certainly what the umpire indicated. It's now 12-7-79 to 2-12-24. We've gone 5 minutes. Footy fresh is Bendigo Football Live. Final turn.
We've had a front-on contact in that marking contest.
So the kick in. Ball with Hartley on the outer side. Just pokes his left foot kick down the line. Lovely weighted kick. Strosh, who loops it wide to Jake Thrum, providing some overlap run. Thrum's kick inside forward 54. Allowed Bonnie a pretty easy ball. Handball's off to Brereton, sends it back the other way on the breeze. It cleared Webb, it went back to Hartley, and he chips it forward to Toma. The prolific Bulldog midfielder across to his former Kahuna running mate in Jake Thrum, who kicks inside the 50. That is absolutely A-grade from the Bulldogs. And Joel Brett's on the end of it. He's marked just a little bit further than 40 metres out.
Yes, you probably did a little bit of a disjustice to Jake Thrum with that last kick in, Joel, because his mate, who got that kick then, slipped over, and that's why the ball went over his head.
So Brett sends it on its way. It's not going to even go close. He's missed that by about 20 metres. That was a very odd result. Mark taken by Webb, handed off to Alexander, and Bonnie exits and to Hall.
Now Hoare, short pass, hurried the kick, and he turned it over, kicked it straight to the Dogs in Hickman.
That's probably the worst set shot Joel Brett's ever had.
Yeah, he might have just miskicked it along with the wind.
He certainly miskicked it.
Well and truly.
That was a short pass.
But at least three had the Strathfieldsaye player in front down back, which they hadn't been in the second quarter.
Thrum sold two pieces of candy, got away, touched the ball on the ground, give it by hand to Jaden Burke. Jaden Burke then runs his distance and he'll send it goalward. It's at the top of the square. Whistle on play, 1-2 high. It's going to be a free kick, and it's going to it's going to the Storm. Hurried on quickly. The kick will come out beyond 50. They've horseshoed out in and out there, Joel, but it went in one term, out the other, I guess. Is that still a horseshoe out?
I guess so.
Well, it is, isn't
It's
it?
more about the mechanism, isn't it, than the result of who's got it?
That's right. I liked it. I like the shape. Put it that way.
Yes.
This game's dead and buried, isn't it?
Yeah, as the great JC would say, the fizz has gone out of this one. If he tossed back in on the outer side, 55 points the spread. Interesting, Lockie Sharp goalless so far today. Hasn't been goalless since round 7 of last year against Strathfieldsaye. He was actually goalless in back-to-back games at one point last year, which is amazing to consider for the couple of time Ron Best medalist, who's right in the hunt again this season. But Joel Brett's had the better of the small forward work today. Here's Toma inside the 50. Bonnie opposed to Brett. He got boot to ball, but straight back into the hands of the Dogs. Hartley to Vaz, back to Hartley, left foot kick, great vision. That's a lovely kick across the 50, and then Barrett's been run down and he'll just get waltzed to the goal line. That's just frustration from Strathfieldsaye.
Might have been a touch of mayo on it perhaps, but it was there.
And Liam Barrett will get the easiest goal of his life. And put the Dogs back up by 61. 13-7-85 to the Storm 2-12-24. 8 minutes played. Final term. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Yeah, so once again, that came from Ryan Hartley. I've been very impressed with his game today. He's got good peripheral vision, and he usually doesn't make a mistake when he's kicking that ball forward to a teammate. And Barrett, he becomes the 9th Golden Square player to hit the scoreboard today, and they're certainly showing in the games that we're watching that they've got plenty of players that can kick goals.
I think they had 12 goal kickers maybe last week against Kyneton, so where they were reliant on Brett and Burke previously, they're a pretty unselfish team.
From the restart in the middle, the ball was kicked from the Storm up forward, but Hickman for the Dogs intercepts. We've got a breaking Dogs player in Stewart. Fingertip it towards the boundary line. That scoreboard. And it goes over.
As a youngster, Stewart continues to impress and improve week in and week out. Some of the things he's done today, like that kick on in the last quarter for a Monty goal, was magnificent.
And I'll give you another positive for the Storm. Webb, I didn't realise how good of a player he is. He's certainly
definitely been in their best.
Oh, he's really good. Impressed me. As the ball has found its way into the of Wade Street, all tied up. We're going to have a stoppage.
Well, and he suits the Darryl Wilson method in that a Darryl Wilson team needs that designated kicker off half back, the guy that just is overlap running all the time and kicks in. He gets the odd cheap one, but can be damaging too.
Zave Murley gets on the end of a handball at half forward that was given to him by Captain Jack Geary. The kick inside 50 was 4, but it spills in the direction of Tolbert. Unselfishly gives it off. They're deep into the pocket. Now, umpire is letting it go. A lot of players around the footy will either have a ball up or a ball in. It's the former, a ball up. Umpire backs 25 metres around from goal. The Dogs attack, ball up, 85 playing 24. The Dogs, this has been over for a long, long time.
Absolutely it has. Storm didn't kick a goal in that third term. As Gilkip works to keep it alive. He's dragged down. We'll have a ball up.
We've done well at picking the close ones the last 2 months or so, and this one you would have thought would have been the same, but it's come to haunt us today.
I'm not sure there is too many contenders for a close one in this round of Bendigo football. McCarthy off the pack for the Storm, just wobbles a kick up the line. Burke had his name written all over it. He paid the mark, Jaden Burke. In fact, he got a chop of the arms. And so it'll be a free kick. It's Shelton, in fact, for the Dogs, who kicks inside the 50. And Freckleton just cruises around the back of a couple of Storm defenders and pulls it in. He's 40 metres out. And he's just better than a 45-degree angle away to the left.
If you go to live score apps, Castlemaine Gisborne's pretty close.
Yes, that's very true. That's very true. Here's Freckleton. That one's held up a long way in the breeze as well. That's a missed kick. Take off the... Oh, Stewart, stop it! Jack Stewart showing a trick or two, just flinging that one back over his head. His third goal of the day, easily his best. He's got 7 in the past 2 weeks. And Golden Square's lead climbs out to a game-high 67. 14-7-91 to the Storm, 2-12-24, 12 minutes played in the final term.
Yes, they've done better than Strath today in making something out of nothing. And once again, Stewart lives at the right spot, front and centre, but lovely kick over the shoulder.
Umpire Baxter throws it in the air. Compston won the tap, but then Ernst won it back. Juggling footy. Hurried kick by Ernst. An inside out Torpedo. Goes inside forward 50 for the Storm. Trying a clever little tap that didn't come off for Ratcliffe. Now, it's won by the Dogs through Harry Burke. He dishes it off to a teammate who will send it long. Might have been James that kicks it long. Beyond 50 to the outer side, to the scoreboard side, and it goes over the boundary line. Across right half forward. The Storm attack will have a ball in, or a ball up, in fact, and it's 91 playing 24, square lead.
Caleb Ernst injured or just trying to get his boot back on? He was walking around very weirdly, one big stomp, and he looked to be moving a little bit better, so I think he might have just been
trying to get the
shoe on.
Yep.
He's a big lad. It'd be a decent old stomp too, you'd imagine.
Yeah,
we didn't feel it rattle from up here.
Put some force through the turf. Boundary umpire will throw it back in, out of sight of the ground, in all Golden Square this afternoon. A very big statement by the Dogs saying, we might be the number 2 challenger to Sandhurst in the competition. Inside defensive 50, Jack Geary tried to get a kick away, spills out to Shishka. He's got a look at goal, and that's not even close, out of bounds on the full. And that sums up the day for the Storm. They're able to generate enough chances, but just have not been anywhere near clinical enough in terms of finishing. They trail by 67, having kicked 2 goals, 12 on the afternoon.
Yes, and that's only been the second out on the full on that swimming pool side in this last quarter, and they've both been up near the point post. Both sides have been able to run the ball around the boundary without kicking it out on the full, compared with the first quarter where we had 7. So certainly both sides learnt from that first quarter, and they don't play as close to the boundary as what they did.
Margin growing at a few games around the place. Sandhurst 44 over Kyneton, 9-14 to 3-6. South by 71 over Kangaroo Flat, and Eagle Hawk by 82 over Maryborough.
Ball is back into the middle from the kick-in from full-back, but Storm will take possession. Webb, he'll bring it laterally to the broadcast wing to Riley Wilson. Short pass, puts it in the path of Hoare. He couldn't collect, and on left half forward, Storm attack. We'll have another ball in. And Norm, I hope when these players come back that Ernst, I hope they persist with him. I hope Darryl does, because he's been on the periphery for a while. He just doesn't seem to get into their best side, and he's a young player and he's got a big body, so just hoping that he maintains his spot. The ball in. The square will win it through Barrett. Barrett short. Well, it was a nice little neat kick to Brett. Brett too far out to score. Forward 50. All lurking there at the back of the pack. Couldn't quite get it, was Stewart. Now it's stoppage. Hartley getting involved. Poor handball. Nice tap though by Captain Jack Geary. Taps it forward. 25 out. And a free kick. 1 too high. Dogs are going to get a shot at goal.
Yes, once again, Jack Geary did the right thing. Instead of taking hold of the football, knocked it into the path of a teammate. And that teammate now will get a shot at goal. Is that young James?
Brody James.
Going to get another one up on his brother.
Yeah, he's had a relatively good game. I reckon Brody's got the chocolates this afternoon from the brothers' perspective.
Yeah, I see Lockie Sharp coming off again. I think he may well be injured today, just looking at the way he's coming off.
James, a left foot. Oh, it was awkward. It was one of those ones you talked about, Norm. It didn't keep the structure of it, and it is a minor score. So it's out to 14-8-92 to 2-3-25 the Storm. 16 minutes, final term.
He spent considerable time off in that third term as well, Norm.
Yeah, that's right. I think he may well be injured looking at it.
He always plays at least a little bit sore, given his injury history, but he does look a little bit worse for wear this afternoon. He's Blandford. He's had the job on Brett for most of the day for the Storm. Kick down the line through the hands of Freckleton, taken by Jaden Burke. Threlfall might have been a bit too casual there and let his his opposite number 29, Geordie Wilson, in, who quickly lays a tackle, and the ball is locked up. Scott Baxter calls for it and tosses it in the air. Storm at half forward. Ratcliffe just rips it out of the ruck, and Geary takes the intercept mark for for Golden Square. Dragged down by Beau Alexander, but he's going to be allowed to get up and take his kick.
He's been serviceable again, Captain Factory. Kicks it to the outer side wing, but Shishka of the Storm floats in front of the pack and takes a contested mark for the Storm. Dark. It's been dark for a little while here. Shishka, short and wide inside forward 50. Finds McCarty. He's hard up against the boundary line, too far out to score. In fact, he might not be, Norm, with that wind. Decides to go a short pass. It's a lead by Wilson. Bonnie, in fact. Bonnie takes a mark hard up against the line as well, deep in the pocket. Now, he's going to have a deliberate shot at goal. Puts the ball on the ground and has a good look.
Yes, that was a good option by McCarty then, because he had no tall forwards deep in the goal square.
Bonnie Geez, it'll be a good goal from there. Decides against it. It was a short pass, bullet ball to Alexander, too severe probably. And stoppage. 5 around from goal that the Storm attack. City End, they trail 24-92. 18 minutes gone, final term. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
They go. Radcliffe wins it down. Almost need the lights on here at Wade Street. Webb's handball away to Hoare. He got it by hand to Gill outside the forward 50 to come back in here of the Storm. Riley Wilson slipped over, hooked the kick around the body to fall forward. Webb almost threw it on his boot in mid-air. Picked up by Coe, jams it out toward Threlfall, who steps it across the boundary line and out for a throw-in. A-grade netball, mentioned that final score. Sandhurst with a big 64-goal win over Compton. Strathfieldsaye by 48 goals against Golden Square here. Eagle Hawk by 31 over Maryborough. And Gisborne have got the job done against Castlemaine as well by a couple of goals. As Hoare inside forward 50 for the Storm, curls it around the body. And Jaden Burke takes a diving mark. The final score, by the looks of it, according to the app in that Gisborne-Castlemaine game, Norm, 29-28. And it was 17-21 at half-time.
A very defensive game, especially in the second half.
Very cold and maybe wet and windy game down there at Gardner, I'd say, as well.
In the middle, short pass, poor kick. Oh, in fact, it was good. I misread it. It was Wilson, Riley, who's been pretty good now. We go to a teammate in Webb. Webb's at 50, sends it goalward and sends it through for a goal. Good finish by Webb, topping off a good game for him at the very least. The Storm, they go to 3-12-30. They're now trailing 14-8-92. The Fizzers definitely gone out of this one, just about to cross over the 20-minute mark. Final term, Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Yes, good lead by Riley Wilson there, even though he went through the mud patch. Lovely handball onto Webb and doing it at both ends of the ground today. Webb gets a goal. He came into this as the third highest ranked player in the league for inside 50 intercepts in defence, and he certainly did that early today. Now he's on the ball.
Doing it at both ends. A beautiful kick of the footy, Luke Webb. Just a really fluid motion. One of those naturally gifted players in terms of the way he can kick the footy.
Yes, he didn't worry he was in front of goal. He still kicked through it, which was great to see.
There he is, getting dragged off it by Tomer, and a free kick. Just made sure the umpire knew about it. And so Webb will drive it inside the arc once more. Puts it out in front of Bonnie, who took front position. Coe gave him a shove. So Coe takes the mark. The umpire said that in taking the mark, he worked Bonnie illegally under the football. And Lockie Bonnie, who is a goal kicker, will have a shot from 30 metres out.
It's the one thing for Strath in this last quarter. They haven't, and this could give them 3 goals for the quarter.
Back to the Storm. Lockie Bonnie, 4 goals from his 7 games coming into today, and he shanks that one away to the left. A minor score. 61 points to spread. 3-13 plays 14-8. Final quarter. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live, and Johnny, really need to turn the lights on.
We do, as Trollful kicked it beyond 50 from the kick in from fullback, and Burke kicked it out of bounds on the full nine.
Which is the first one we've had on the wing this quarter.
Golden Square, Jonathan at times has had a relatively quiet game. It's next week, but the kick's gone inside forward 50 for the Storm. But Jaden Burke, he's been trusty this afternoon. I just like the way that Golden Square have settled their team. They don't have a lot of changes. One seem to be coming good towards the back end of the season. As the long kick goes to Barrett, a one-hander. These names I'm rolling out now, they're names that have been in the side for basically the whole of the season, and they're starting to look really composed. Vaz, short pass by foot to a diving Barrett. He marks underneath the Peter Moroney scoreboard on the Peter Moroney wing. Go figure. Short pass by foot, Jack Geary receives. Just marginally forward of centre wing. Jack Geary, another short pass to Thrum, and Thrum will take a chest mark.
It's an interesting point 17 players for Golden Square have either played every game or all but one so far this season. So 17 of the 22 out there today have missed a maximum of one game, and 12 of those have played every game. Here's Murley, who is one who's only missed a single game, sends it inside the 50. Stewart gets upstairs and pulls it in. He's already enjoying himself today, Jack Stewart. Kicked a highlight reel goal earlier in the term. He's got a chance to line up for 4 for the second game in a row.
Yes, and be the leading goal kicker on the ground for the day, Joel.
Would have got good odds on that, I'd say, Normie. Chucks the grass in the air at the top of the 50. Not doing quite as much as it did earlier in the day. I'd say it'd be pretty wet grass. So what indication that was going to give him, I'm not quite sure. Probably just went straight up and down a whole heap of mud in his hand.
Take it from us, son. It's windy.
Here's Jack Stewart. Take it from us. He knows how to kick a goal. Got 4. He really enjoyed himself this afternoon. And the lead for 6 points. 15-8, 98, 3-12, 3-13, 31. 24 minutes gone in the final term.
Yes, another good passage of play for Golden Square. They controlled the ball on the outer side wing. They got it to Zave Murley, and Zave Murley pulled the trigger, and he found Stewart on a lead, take a very good mark and an excellent conversion.
Umpire Caldwell back into the middle, balls it up. There's a fresh area both by Freckleton and Ernst. Hickman, little soccer forward back to Freckleton. Handball over the top, Zave Murley receives. Then he turns and goes. Handball sweeping wide to Jake Thrum on half forward. Short pass, coughed it up, and he kicked it straight to Hallinan of the Storm to his back pocket.
So Hallinan, he's going to come across the defensive 50. It's a muddy footy. Morecambe was up, couldn't take the mark. Riley Wilson's there. Handball to Mulquinny, who just had to slap it on. Square fans thought he threw it. Murley's there at half forward for Golden Square. Hand kick from Hartley. Freckleton flew, couldn't take the mark. In fact, it was Strosh who made a leap forward inside forward 50 for the Dogs. All the way back to Jaden Burke now, who sends it back inside the forward 50. And now the mark taken by Vaz for Golden Square. He centres it up and finds Brett. And Brett's within 40 from goal. Plays on immediately, wheels around and kicks his 4th. Has been an absolutely bonkers day for Joel Brett, but he ends up with 4. He's got 49 on the season, and he extends his lead in the Ron Best medal tally. And Golden Square crack a ton here at Wade Street. 16-8, 104 to Strathfieldsaye, 3-13, 31. 25 and a half minutes gone the final quarter.
And that came from an excellent forward 50 entry by Braden Vaz. Certainly been a good pick-up by Golden Square this year. A lovely pass into Joel Brett. And as you said, Joel Brett played on, no mistake, and got his 4th for the day to equal young Stewart.
Game by 73-point lead now.
Restart in the middle. Ernst won the tap, put it in the path of Shishka, who overran it. And it might be a free kick at the bottom of the pack to McCarty.
That's not what you need at the 27-minute mark of the final term when you've avoided the mud all day, is it?
Didn't even get the free kick, in fact.
That's right. It went to Webb.
So Webb kicks it long and high down the line. They'll set themselves. Burke had hands on the footy. Spills to the back of the pack. Sweeping handball. Receive will be Hoare. Series of handballs ends up with Gill. Gill will go short. Short pass. Good hard lead. And they're going to have another shot at goal here through Riley Wilson, who, as we've said throughout the afternoon, is probably a shining light for the Storm. And we'll get a pretty good look at this one. Distance won't be a problem. He's got the breeze behind him. It will just be a case of accuracy, Norm.
Yes, once again, he's got to aim for that left-hand goal post and just let the ball drift back.
They're just aiming too far towards the left.
Too far, yes.
Yeah, that's why I like going straight at him when it's like this, Norm. Minor score. Not that I'm much of a kicker, not nowadays anyway. 3-14-32. The Storm, they trail the Dogs 16-8, 104, and we've gone 27 minutes final term. Footy fresh as Bendigo Football Live.
Getting ever darker here at Wade Street.
It's getting ever darker, and Golden Square starting to find that boundary on the full in these last few minutes. That's 2 in the last couple of minutes when we'd gone nearly 2 quarters without any.
Your pen was going to run out of ink in that opening term with how many times they kicked it out of their Norm, but they've calmed themselves after that stage early in the game. Across the defensive 50 from Mulqueeney's dangerous, and it's straight down the throat of Ricky Monty for the Dogs, who just bangs it to open space because he's got Stewart racing inside the 50. Run down! Oh, terrific tackle on the last line. Desperate defensive will go to Mulqueeney. In fact, it might be Mays back there who's laid a great tackle for the Storm inside the back arc.
Short pass skill received. His eyes lit up. That would have been his 5th, was it not?
Yes.
Yep.
Probably hasn't kicked 5 in his life at senior footy, I wouldn't have imagined.
Certainly not senior footy.
No, as the ball comes into the middle, turnover though through the Dogs. It'll be Toma collects and then sends it to the top of the square. Back of the backers, Thrum, open goal, dribbles it through and pops another one through. That was some tired play there by Storm. They got caught, well, on the back foot. That passage of play. Golden Square did well to top off and they increase the lead. It is now 17-8, 110 to 3-13-31 and only a couple of minutes remaining at Footy Fresh as Bendigo Football Live.
Yes, good work by Tommy Toma out here on the wing. He had to attack that football. He did, and once he attacked it and got it in deep at the back of the pack with Jack Thrum, and with all his experience, he knew what to do. Just get foot to ball, roll it through, and he became the 10th goal kicker of the day for Golden Square.
So they've really run up the score here late in this game. Golden Square 5 goals in this final term to the Storm's 2. And they surge it forward once more. Here is Stewart out at half forward. He takes it. He's dragged across the line by Mulqueeney. And it'll be tossed back into play. So Stewart with 4, Brett with 4 for Golden Square. And for the Storm, there hasn't been a lot to write home about. Certainly from a goal-scoring sense. They'll slip down the table after today. Strathfieldsaye with South Bendigio going to emerge winners over Kangaroo Flat. And Eagle Hawk done over Maryborough. Free kick against Ryan Hartley. It'll go the way of Lockie Bonney, who shoots the handball short to Slater, to Ratcliffe, back to Slater. And now to Ernst, who left it behind and pinged a hamstring. So that's really what they didn't need. And the Dogs have destroyed Strathfieldsaye here at Lake Street. A 78-point thumping to cement themselves as the main challenger in season 2023. 17-8, 110 to the Storm, 3-14-32. They held Strathfieldsaye goalless in the third term to just 1 goal in the entire first half. And Golden Square kicked 17 to give the Storm an absolute mauling here at Wade Street. That was about as comprehensive as you could have imagined, Jenkins, as maybe some light rain starts to fall around the ground again.
Yes, an excellent display by Golden Square today. They set this game up in the second quarter when they kicked 5 goals against the wind to 1 goal to go in with a handy 6-goal lead at half-time. And then they went on with the game in the last quarter. Their ability to be able to rely on their teammate to get the ball, run in numbers and be able to keep the ball in motion is excellent. And their entries into the forward 50, they don't just blaze away. They look for somebody where possible. And I look there at Ryan Hartley. Whenever he kicks the ball forward, it's usually to the benefit of a forward, to the fat side of the ground for their forward, which makes it easy, and it makes it easy to kick goals. And Joel Brett, well, what can you say? You know, leading the league goal kicking. And once again today, he's played a good game of football, 4 goals. He gave 1 or 2 away throughout the day, and he was always there and a potent force up forward. And it's Golden Square going along nicely now. And as you say, probably the major threat to Sandhurst to win this year's premiership, although I think Eagle Hawk would like to think they are too.
Get the...
It feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And Berry plant will show you how. Turn